time for more action from Pool A of the netball here at the Birmingham Games, Day 4. It's Jamaica versus Barbados. These two sides, of course, will be relatively well known to each other, and I'm sure they will be familiar with that calypso style. There is the standing so far. Pool A, Australia, we've just seen have a big win over South Africa, and then Jamaica sitting under them. So this is a busy pool. And Lisa Alexander, you'd have to think that this team, or these two teams, will be familiar, but this is an unusual lineup from Connie Francis.
It is an unusual lineup, but I think it's important in building the week that it is different, and they are load managing their athletes absolutely. Well done.
Yeah, long way to go in this tournament. Of course, this is only Day 4. We're still in the preliminary rounds, and you'd expect a few of those players to be injected into this game if she decides she needs them. Apparently, the Sunshine Girls are on a mission here, and one of them in particular, Latanya Wilson, 21-year-old. She just went out to the Australian League this year, was fighting for a start for the Adelaide Thunderbirds. By the end of the season, she was one of the proven ball winners, and a terrific start in the making there. And there's Shanice Beckford, another one to watch. She's not the same mould as the big, tall timber of the Jamaican shooters. She is a playmaker, very much in the mould of, well, former greats of Jamaica, really. Simone Forbes and, of course, today's coach, Connie Francis. And there's Jodie Ann Ward. Now, that's an interesting sign. She's wearing the mask, so whether or not she might have a bit of a cold or something, may not take part in today's game. But she's another one who made her way to the Australian competition via the English Super League. Well, what a mammoth task today for Barbados. How are they going to cope, Lisa?
I think, well, they've made a couple of enforced changes. I think Thea Guard's come on for their captain, Azore Bruce, who'll probably have to have a match off. But I'm really pleased to see Rock York getting another start to show what she can do and repeat efforts in centre.
Well, they've been on the wrong end of a couple of big scores, haven't they, Barbados? 95-18 thrashed by Australia, and 91-36 against South Africa. So, you know, they are the 12th qualified team here, so it was always going to be a battle. But, gee, they have been to every Commonwealth Games since netball has been there, so that's an achievement in itself. And here's an interesting player. Akina Stout gets the start today at goalkeeper, one of the young guns coming through in this Barbados team. They're going through quite a little bit of a rebuild, so watch out for Stout. And, of course, a player who's very much at the other end of, I suppose you could say, the career. Sabrina Smith, 38-year-old. She was in Delhi for those Commonwealth Games all those years ago. Watch for her in the mid-court. And Samantha Brown is another one who is, I guess, one of the older campaigner. She had a real thrill, really, of starting her international career, playing alongside her mother.
It's amazing.
Jackie Brown.
Amazing.
At the 2007 World Cup.
Wonderful stat.
So here are the times they've played together or against each other at the Commonwealth Games. 4-0 to Jamaica. They have, of course, they play each other relatively regularly, and generally it's a win to Jamaica, but every now and then Barbados get up and get the win. So this is how Jamaica is tracking so far. 68-49 over South Africa, 72-43 over Wales. And here's Barbados, as I mentioned earlier, really having a real battle. So they will just be today looking for improvement. Fabulous view of the NEC Arena as we get ready for this game. It'll be couple of South Africans in charge of this game. Elisna Vandenberg and Anso Kemp to the right of the lineup, and Kate Wright of Australia, the reserve umpire. It's amazing how often you need that reserve umpire.
It is actually. The umpires are, well, they're very highly conditioned athletes themselves, high-performance athletes, so they can get injuries, and sometimes the reserve umpire has to jump on there.
Travelling from the four corners of the Commonwealth, our 12 super teams have arrived in Birmingham. Prepared to defend, pass and shoot their way to the gold medal. You're about to cross over into the netball zone.
Just listen to this crowd. They're pumped for this team. Shamira Sterling at the forefront, and here she comes. Such a popular player, always plays to the camera, and she gets the start today at goal defence. Katie Dehaney will be at the back at goal keep. Nadine Thomas at centre. Khadija Williams, wing attack. And there's Shanice Beckford, who I've talked about. Watch the skill of Beckford. It is incredible. And the start today for Shimona Nelson. So reward, I think, and I guess Connie Francis perhaps just wanting to show how much depth she has in her team. And
also to give Fowler a rest, to be fair. I mean, she's going to have to probably be the number one shooter, but look, Nelson may be needed. That's important that she gets this opportunity.
Now Connie Francis saying they are here to win in Birmingham. And they call them the Bajan Gems. Here is Barbados. Look pretty relaxed, don't they? So Latonia Blackman there on the line already at goal attack. What a star of the game. Faith Agard getting the start at goal keep. 33-year-old Agard. This is one of her, I suppose, first tournaments for Barbados. Brianna Holder. Family affair. Her coach is Margaret Cutting, who's also her mother. So they're a real mix of experience and rebuilding this team. The Bajan Gems, as I mentioned earlier, they have never missed a Commonwealth Games. When you think that they're a country of something like 280,000 people, that is a huge achievement. So, Lisa Alexander, we are set. And we're away. Pool A game between Jamaica, and straight away, Jamaica grabbed the ball and they're into it. And I guess that's making a statement.
It is making a statement, and I was speaking to their technical specialist defensive coach, Rob Wright, last night, and we were discussing the need for Jamaica to really settle in this game. Don't go away from what's working their process. And I can already see from the intent on Shamira Sterling's face and the way she delivered that ball that it is there.
Gosh, and already, what have we got? 30 seconds. Shanice Beckford has lost her shoe. And of course, it all has to stop while that shoe is put back on. Thumbs up. Good to go.
Vantage contact, goal attack. Offside, wing attack, free pass in the goal circle.
That's
Hold time, please.
a mistake that you
Free
don't
pass
need in a
top
game like
circle.
this.
We were just speaking about the need for the previous match, the players having to address basic errors, and certainly Barbados, that will be an area they need to go to work on. Interesting to see Thomas in centre for this match. I think it was important for Dixon Rochester to be rested.
And do you think Connie Francis has settled on her starting 7, or is she still sort of finding them?
I think she is still looking at it. Certainly you can't be too set on it at the start of the week.
Oh, just like that, Sterling.
What I think Jamaica has got is they've got some variation in their starting lineups, which is a really positive thing and shows championship potential.
Nelson puts out the paw. Oh, collision in mid-court now. Yep, that's good. They play on.
Goalkeeper obstruction, penalty.
That was a collision and a half. I think Thomas ended up worse for wear from that one. She's still grimacing.
So Barbados get on the board. Yeah, Thomas, we'll just have to keep an eye on her, see how she moves around.
Interesting, before Nelson was called for a contact with her arm. She will need to be mindful of that.
Shimona Nelson hasn't played a lot for Jamaica, but she's another one plying her trade in the Australian League.
Certainly shown great improvement this year in the Super Netball in Australia.
Penalty.
I think she was good to go at the Gold Coast last time, but injury ruled her out.
Contact, goal defence, penalty.
She's been working very hard at a strength and conditioning program in Melbourne, Australia, and reaping the benefits of that.
Shanika Wharton just... Oh, now
goal defence, penalty.
Another collision.
Once again, this is when these contests get a little bit worrying for the coaching staff, and that's why you want to protect your players and get them off. Because everyone's getting a little bit tired, Jenny, at this point in the week. I know it's only early, but there already have been 3 matches, and you know they've really got to be careful.
Yep. Well, this is a bit of a sloppy start, really, to this game.
Obstruction, wing defence.
That's better. Speed up.
Contact, penalty, goalkeeper.
And Jamaica moves through to 7. Barbados just the 2.
Contact, goalkeeper.
I can hear the Jamaican bench actually speaking and encouraging their team out on court, and there's also some talk on court, which is a positive sign. You can see
Margaret Cutting, herself a former player.
And they'll be setting themselves a target of improvement. They will want to be putting out a score that was better than their last match.
Oh, Sterling, she read that all the way from Birmingham Central. So just look at this from Sterling. Comes from nowhere. It was pretty clearly telegraphed.
Yeah, it was plucked out of the air. Wonderful timing and skill from Shamira Sterling. One of the best defenders in the world.
And I guess an example, too, of what happens if you shine at a Commonwealth Games, as Sterling did in the Gold Coast. You get picked up and you make a career.
You certainly do, and what we've seen with Sterling is she's improved her concentration and her focus in performance games, and that's what she needed to do. 4 years ago, she lacked that concentration. Now she's developed
Wing
that.
defence, obstruction, penalty. Obstruction, goalkeeper, penalty inside.
Nice little shimmy move by Wharton.
Oh, Blackman's there to tidy. And then she'll tie up the shoelaces. Latonia Blackman at her 6th Commonwealth Games.
Yes, they didn't need to worry about defending that centre pass of Jamaica's because Williams was just over the line and straight down to their goalers.
Yeah, beautifully put away. Shanice Beckford. So 100% shooting for Jamaica at the moment.
We're heading to a 20-goal quarter at least from Jamaica, I'd say, at this stage on the rate of scoring at this stage of the quarter. And the interesting backstory is comparing this score to Australia's score against Barbados.
What is it with the shoes? There's so many shoes coming off.
Well, I think what happens is many of the athletes get new shoes for this tournament, and sometimes actually like the laces aren't worn in properly, and just little things like that can cause them to be coming off easily.
Once again, Barbados thwarted and away come Jamaica through the middle. And Thomas seems to be... Oh, but there's a step at the end there. Dean Thomas seems to be fully repaired after that fall. Oh gosh, that was made to look very much harder than it needed to be, I think.
Thomas just overcooked that pass, but what's happening now is that Jamaica are trying their hardest to defend very tightly, and because of the unorthodox play of Barbados, it's actually more difficult sometimes to do that.
Oh, clever from Wharton. The little offload to Latonia Blackman.
What I'd like to see the Jamaican defence, and that means their attackers when they're in defence as well, is just to try and dictate where they're going, perhaps be trying to create a little bit more room, and instead of just running around and trying to chase the Barbados defenders when they're bringing the ball out. Oh, Williams in her hands. It just...
That was smart from Wharton, though. She just got in there and did the big slap down, so it bounced high.
I'm loving Williams's work outside the circle as well. She's very accomplished at the wing defence position too, so this is a nice change-up that Jamaica have, which is similar to Australia's change-up with Clow and Bruce and Weston, so this is good.
Throw in Barbados.
Don't be surprised too, or if you are thinking you're used to seeing Shanika Wharton at the other end of the court, she does play goal shoot and goalkeeper.
Contact centre penalty outside.
Great take by Rockyaw there, using the ball to balance in the offside area, which she is allowed to do according to the rules. As long as she doesn't touch it with her hand, then it is onside. She's okay.
After all that effort.
Oh, Wharton just seemed to come down heavily. It may be her ankle, but you can see her knee is very heavily strapped.
Oh, brilliant. Great tip. Oh!
Offside, free pass in the goal.
Yes, even the great Shamira Sterling can't do much with that. Great effort by Akira Stout.
Definitely some bodies going down. Oh. Holder just needs to be a little bit careful there. She's running, trying to start her attacking moves by putting her shoulder in. She needs to be just a bit careful. She will draw the attention of the umpires. Oh, great flick out there by a guard, and also to advantage of the Barbados team. But unfortunately, someone has put their foot over the line.
Centre third. Contact wing defence penalty.
Well, just over 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. 12-4. Jamaica leading.
Jamaica would probably be expecting to score a little bit more than this. They've been quite stagnant now for about a 5-minute mark. A 5-minute period. So they'll want to get that score on the board. They need to just get a little bit of momentum and attacking flow happening. Maybe it'll start now.
Khadija Williams, the little floater into Nelson. That's a quicker goal. Best finish for Barbados at a Commonwealth Games was 7th. That was in 2010. That was in Delhi.
Well, this will be, if it goes this way, a very, very low score for Barbados in one quarter. They'll be extremely disappointed with that.
Defense. Contact goalkeeper penalty.
Yeah, certainly the players, Barbados players, really look like they're struggling at the moment.
Help ball, free pass.
Well, and that's the last thing you need, isn't it? If you're making hard work of it anyway, then a held ball.
Well, it's a welcome to the Commonwealth Games because they have played 3 of the top teams in the first 3 matches, so it is a really difficult road for them.
And they would have been well aware of that. I mean, you know, as I mentioned earlier, they've played every rendition, if you like, of netball at the Com Games.
Defense, goal third.
They also probably have arguably the smallest player pool of any of the countries here.
They certainly do, but there are some positive things that they can do. Everyone can control their own conditioning, strength and conditioning. So clearly I think they will learn a lot from this tournament. The fact that the countries, even Jamaica, you know, obviously Jamaica are looking extremely well conditioned. And so it is possible for them to take on board the learning that comes from other high performance programs.
But I just wonder though, Lisa, you know, how much money do you need to finance all that?
Well, you don't actually need money, Jenny. You just need heart, desire, passion and discipline, actually. So look at Uganda. They look really fit. They've worked really hard. And I don't particularly like comparing high-performance programs from different countries. But what I like to do is present Barbados with a challenge. A great challenge for their program is to develop a high-performance program which expects their players to be basically train like full-time athletes even though they're not, and really put the working in the gym and on the track.
Advantage offside, wing defence.
Into the final 2 minutes of this first quarter, 20 goals to 4, and that's held ball. Great defence from Dehaney and Sterling.
Contact centre in the centre third.
Look at the strapping on that
Centre third.
thigh.
Centre third.
I think it's actually been difficult for Jamaica to find their flow because Barbados have actually been not as, well, not that they're not as skillful, but they just haven't had as much flow together as a team in this match.
A foreign object on the court. And this is a little bit of a cakewalk, isn't it, for Jamaica in this first quarter. 1 minute remaining, 22-4.
What I am pleased about is Jamaica are maintaining their discipline. So that means, and just look, I just said it then, and unfortunately Sterling got an obstruction call. But overall, they've been pretty disciplined, but they've still put that intensity out there. So well done.
Well, the crowd does their best to get in behind Barbados.
This obstruction centre. Goal third.
Another good crowd in for the netball at the NEC Arena today.
Advantage knocked out of play, wing attack.
It's been a fabulous atmosphere, pumping music.
They've enjoyed that first match against Australia against South Africa, and there's a held ball. Ideal for Jamaica. That's what they need to be working on. That's actually a target they can set themselves for this rest of this match.
Centre obstruction penalty. Goalkeeper obstruction penalty.
Now this will be taken. Plenty of time for Nelson to add one more, which she does. So totally dominant first quarter for Jamaica. They lead at the break 23-5. So let's have a look at Jamaica. You see Rob Wright walking around in front of the bench. They will be pretty pleased with that first quarter.
They will. I think they're on target for a 92-20 match, which matches Australia.
So let's have a look at some of the play that caught our eye in this first quarter.
Yeah, really nice attacking transition. Started from Wilson, her width on court, and they're creating that nice ability to angle. Shamira Sterling coming through as she does, not in the usual position of goalkeeper, but she can do it all. She can play a terrific goal defence. Some nice angles there. Great take by Nelson.
So it'll be interesting to see, won't it, just what Connie Francis does with her lineup, whether she tweaks it a bit or rewards the players who were out there for that first quarter. You can see Rob Wright having a chat with...
I don't think it's a telling off at any stretch of the imagination. Rob Wright will be just saying, look, try this, because I think you can get more ball. And it is difficult for her. She's listening to Rob intently because he knows what he's talking about.
So let's have a flick over now to the other bench of Barbados. And there you can see, well, they're listening intently too. I think they're probably wondering what on earth they're going to do. There's Margaret Cutting. And let's have a look at some of the efforts of Barbados in the first quarter.
The good thing is the coaching staff were being really positive, and that's the first step. There's no point telling people off. And as you can see, there can be some good passages of play. Rock Yaw, she's, played well so far this tournament. She's looking a little bit tired. But all they need to do is keep running. They need those options. So their Stout needs to actually drive down court instead of wanting the ball inside the circle. Quick interchange there. Well done by Wharton.
And I'm sure they'll be hoping to just get a few more than 5 goals per quarter in the next period of play, 15 minutes.
And remember, they know each other's play really well. So we've got to be a little bit fair to Barbados here. Jamaica know Barbados well, and they know what to stop and use their energy effectively.
Enjoying the music here at the NEC Arena. That's Khadija Williams getting a little bit of attention.
Yeah, I think she's coming off, which is probably a good thing. Need to save her. She's an extremely important player in the Jamaican top 7.
Hard to see what's going on in there, but also too, it's not the sort of game that you really want to, exhaust your top players in. You've got 12 players to get yourself through the tournament.
And it actually might have been a knock to her, so she may just have ice on what we call in Australia a corky. It's actually called a contusion for other countries. Okay, looks like Blackman's gone from goal attack back to where she started the tournament at goal defence. Stout's gone back to goalkeeper. Thayagard has come off. And Brianna Holder's in goal attack. This is actually, I think, a good move. I think we're already seeing that injection of pace. And
wing attack offside, free pass inside.
Thomas is still in centre for Jamaica.
Centre.
So Shady-Ann Hemmings on for
penalty.
Jamaica. There she is at wing attack.
Vantage contact wing defence. Obstruction goalkeeper.
Now, it could have been an enforced change for them, but I think it is good for Jamaica. They just need to keep ploughing on. They need to keep up their work rate and ensure they maintain this score and double their score that they made at quarter time.
Advantage offside,
Keep
centre
an
and
eye on
obstruction.
Khadija Williams too on the sideline just to see what sort of treatment she's receiving.
Yeah, I think it's just, she's just getting an ice pack on it. I think it's okay, but look, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but from my
Throw in
eye of looking
Jamaica.
at things, she's probably just been very, very super cautious. Although she is
too upset, does she?
But she is grimacing a bit.
Advantage contact and obstruction, centre.
So on we go. 25-5, a 20-goal gap has opened up. Nice twirl.
Contact wing defence penalty.
That is the only change in the Jamaican lineup.
Advantage
Jamaica
obstruction,
can't
wing
afford
attack.
those simple errors. They really need to be more disciplined in their attack play. Their defence will get them lots of ball, but they do need to repay them with efficient and accurate shooting.
Advantage break on attack.
Nelson sitting at 20 from 21 at 95%.
Contact on the arm,
That'll be
goalkeeper
pleasing.
penalty.
Coach Connie Francis, who primarily looks after the attack end. Of course, she is the head coach
Barbados.
and looks after the whole team. But Rob Wright is looking after that defence end to support Connie Francis as head coach. And I think it's wonderful for the Jamaican netball program that they're working together so closely as a coaching team.
That centre certainly is not meant to be in there. Tanisha Rock, your
Advantage offside, wing defence.
away down the other end of the court so quickly, Jamaica.
That's better. That's the pace they need to be maintaining. Maintain their concentration. Great take. She plucks it out of the air. So athletic, so strong.
You know, there's a view in some quarters that really it's so hard at these pinnacle events, particularly for the countries like Barbados, which are, you know, number 11, 12, that they have to come in and because of the nature of the draw, come up straight away against these, you know, the big guns, if you like. And it's a suggestion that, you know, why don't you seed the tournament? Split it up.
Yes.
Look, I can't agree with you more, Jenny. I think the World Cup in 2015 was seeded, and it caused a bit of contention because many of the countries that are in the lower ranked teams, that means the bigger numbers, well, they don't get to come up against Australia.
Contact
The
goalkeeper.
issue for netball is that we need to show our game at the highest level. Great transition from Jamaica there,
Barbados.
showing the difference in the rankings. Okay, and you've got fourth
next to
ranked
the
team,
post.
I think Jamaica are at the moment, although they're playing like number one in the world, I have to
Contact
say.
wing attack penalty.
Barbados are number 12, and they're probably arguably 13. So there is a lot of work to be done to increase the
Footwork
depth
dragging, through pass.
and the professionalism in terms of not just money, but
Goal
how they
third
go
with
about
me.
their training.
Goal third.
So 30 goals to 5. Not quite 5 minutes gone in the second quarter.
Advantage contact centre.
Barbados have not scored yet.
Gosh, Tanisha Rock, you're looking almost desperately around for someone to pass to. Now they're away, but the tip.
And that's what can happen as the week goes on. Those passes just miss their target slightly, as it did then, because Blackman usually is a very good passer of the ball. She was slightly off, and of course Jamaica absolutely went for that intercept and pick up. There goes Thomas. She's fighting for a spot in the top 7. So she wants to put in a good performance to show Coach Francis and Coach Wright that she deserves the start.
There they are. Connie Francis was on the left of, well, the right of Rob Wright.
Yes, that's correct. She's over towards Rob Wright's right-hand side, and they work together closely. As I said, she's looking after the attacking.
Contact goalkeeper.
Rob
penalty.
Wright's looking after the defence end, but of course they work together on the overall flow of both ends.
Oh, she's a star of Jamaican netball.
Why?
I remember her playing. Look at this
Also,
from
please swing defence, Barbados.
Thomas going nicely. And now we've got a bib go round. Samantha Brown
Coming on, I think, and Bob going off.
coming. So that might be the last thing that Bob does.
Looks
10
like it's
seconds.
Smith into centre.
Was just a 10-second call.
Contact holding goalkeeper.
Nice little
penalty.
hold back from Beckford there.
Goalkeeper,
Beautiful
holding.
skill that Jenny's already referred to earlier, and she shot it herself then. Beautiful smooth work. It'll be interesting to see
Barbados, get the
if
ball.
Jamaica bring on another goal attack in the second half, just to give her a rest, because she usually has a very big load.
So Samantha Brown on at wing defence and Sam Smith on at wing attack.
That's it, Wharton. That's what she can do. Nice and smooth. Get her the ball. Get it to her quickly, and she will shoot. Stout will have her work cut out for her there, marking Shimona Nelson. She's not that much shorter than her, and she does have a good leap, so she needs to keep working on that jump.
But that, that's just too easy, isn't it, for Jamaica?
Absolutely, and Wilson just showed her class then. She is a player. I loved McCracken yesterday, and I'm loving Wilson today. Quarter score is 13-1. Barbados need to actually inject themselves into this game, start scoring off their centre passes.
Oh, brilliant from Shamira Sterling. That's her calling card. Most incredible ability just to leap up, her timing, anticipation.
Contact.
And she's got those long arms and long legs, but what she's got is that beautiful flexibility that players of her body type have. We had a
Contact
player
goalkeeper.
who
Penalty.
I adored on one of my teams I coached back in the day, Janine Illich. She had a similar body type. We call them an ectomorph.
An ectomorph.
Ectomorph.
Oh,
It's a
ectomorph.
type of body.
Sounded something like Star Wars.
A little bit. And, as you can see there, it's lots of flexibility in her play. She seems to glide around the court. She's so light on her feet. Janine was as well, but really, really quick.
Goal shooter obstruction penalty.
Oh, so that's just a costly error, isn't it, by Wharton?
And Katie Ann
contact and
Downey is
offside
just
wing
quietly
defence.
going about her work as well. I mean, she's been part of this defence end that have kept Barbados to 6 goals to nearly half-time. That's an enormous effort. And Rob Wright, their
Throw
defensive
in.
coach, will be thrilled.
All time.
He won't be thrilled with that
Left
attack
side of
play,
the post,
though.
goalkeeper.
So 18-1 is this quarter score. 6
Vantage
and a bit
contact
minutes
centre.
remaining. So who knows what more damage Jamaica will inflict on Barbados.
What I want to see from them is to maintain this concentration of effort and of their decision-making for 15 minutes. This is their challenge.
So second goal for Barbados off the quarter. And you can't help but wonder, if this might be the game that we see the ton come up for Jamaica.
Look, it's
And
quite
with
possible.
passing like that, it's very possible.
There's just not enough ball getting into the Barbados goal
Vantage
circle.
contact wing defence. Obstruction goalkeeper.
It's been an interesting feature too of the build-up to these games is, the interpretation of how the umpires would call
Jamaica.
replay ball. That looked like it might have been one on the edge of the circle. I've seen others where, they let it go. So many different interpretations to the same rules.
I will be asking my umpire consultant about that. Because I too agree with you. I think in the English Super League it really was, if you drop the ball, that's it. It was replayed. It doesn't seem to be quite as, I guess, black and white.
So look at this big heave, and it's a great take by Wharton.
Thankfully increased Barbados' score to 8.
Got this obstruction centre. Centre obstruction, Jamaica.
Ah, well done, Rockyaw. She probably
Centre, Jamaica.
created that penalty, and Thomas is walking out. She needs to hurry up and get there and stand out of play, but Rockyaw was clever in the way she presented herself for that attacking play.
And by doing that, you put your back to the other player.
Yeah, it's just using your body in a very smart way, nice and strong, but don't draw attention to the umpire. Don't be bending over and putting your gluteus maximus into them, perhaps. And then what Thomas did is she actually used her arms to help create her space, and that is not allowed under the rules. It is obstruction, and it is a major infringement.
Well, they could badly do with this goal.
And this is another major infringement, which means the player is out of play. And there is a penalty shot or goal. They can have a penalty shot for goal. And Wharton has got that, and they're up to 9, which is good overall.
So will they get double figures before half-time, I wonder?
I mean, they'll certainly be wanting to get at least the 5 goals, which is equal to their first quarter total. Not with that type of play, though. Oh, beautifully held back by Thomas then. And plucked out of the air once again by Nelson.
Yeah, it's a great take, isn't it, that she uses, Shimona
Nelson. Here it
Nelson.
comes. Great ball from Wilson. Down the middle of the court, the easiest route to goal. And, of course, there's hardly any defence from Barbados, which is disappointing.
Terry, the mascot, he's enjoying the netball.
I've got one of mine. It's sitting in my room.
Is it a big one or a little one?
No, it's only a little one.
Oh, it had to fit in your bag, really, didn't it?
Yes, it does. Oh, wonderful. Wilson just, if she was getting a Best Player of the Half award, it would be I would be giving her that. That was just brilliant. She's there on the transverse line, urging her attack end to score off that. And they do, which is brilliant work by Jamaica.
Well, if you're a betting person, you'd probably put money on Jamaica hitting 50 before the first half is over.
They may be aiming for that. They have got time, especially with Dehaney getting the ball back there quickly. They just need to work this ball through. And, of course, I've made a liar again. Sterling straight into Nelson, another score. They're up to 48.
Wow, they just look slick, don't they, Jamaica? And when you think that this is the Jamaican side minus Janelle Fowler.
Hold time,
minus Dixon Rochester as well.
Correctly position, goal defence, free pass, centre third.
Umpires coming into the game just in this last bit. Wilson, a little bit of a clumsy challenge there. Holders holding her space, pardon the pun.
Throw it, Jamaica.
Oh, dear.
Leave the ball.
That was actually really well defended by Thomas. I was impressed with that. She actually assisted Rockyaw to make that error, and then she went really strongly on that attacking play. Well done.
So this for the 50.
Here it is.
Goal defence.
Easy peasy for Jamaica.
And the crowd, well, they applaud. I'd like to have had a little bit more enthusiasm there. It is a difficult thing to get to 50. It's normally the total for the whole game.
I suspect, the crowd had been hoping for a bit more of a contest.
I'm certain they were, and that's what we'd like to see from Barbados in the second half, and that's what Coach Margaret Cutting can speak about. They need to start again, reset, perhaps make some changes, and really make a good fist of it in the second half.
Yeah, normally, and there is the hoot up for half-time. What a whopping half-time score. It is Jamaica leading Barbados 51-9. Well, let's have a look now at some of the highlights from the first half, and I think we can probably safely say they'll be mostly of Jamaica.
I think they will, and the court announcer said they might see some dancing. I don't think they will. I think Jamaica are very set on what they want to do in this match, as you can see by these highlights.
Time to have a look at the numbers from this first half of Pool A action. Boy, they're pretty stark, aren't they?
They are stark. Look, it's a complete, well, we need to start again. That's a whole game in itself. I think for Barbados, they need to get on the scoreboard. They need to get their team more goals, more shots to goals, and better play off their centre passes.
Well, let's hope they can turn things around for the second half, not far away.
If you know this song, all I need is sing along, okay? Let's go!
Well, it is party time here at the NEC Arena. Certainly not for Barbados, but Jamaica, 51-9. And I tell you what, interesting comparison. Australia against Barbados the other day, they were 52-9 at halftime. And look at this. It is such a vibe here at the NEC. Those hands that absolutely everybody wants to get their whole hands on. And this is what it's all about, the netball. So now let's have a look back over the highlights of the first shot, or at least the good bits. Well, just everybody is getting into the atmosphere here at the netball. Now, I can tell you there's a few changes that Jamaica have called. Dean Thomas moving from centre to wing attack. Shanice Beckford going off, and Rebecca Robinson coming on at goal attack. Second half away, 51-9.
Centre, throw in Barbados.
Here is Rebecca Robinson on court.
I actually liked what she did out on court the other day, and I think it's a great injection and showing the depth of the squad. To win a championship, you need to go deep, and you need to make sure that your athletes have had opportunities out on this court, so that if they do have to come on, they are ready.
And there's the other shift you might have noticed. Shady Ann Hemmings going from wing attack into centre.
And I think it's great that Thomas is now on wing attack.
In the
You
circle.
need to see her playing there. Williams is, a little bit of an injury cloud at the moment, although it seems like her ice. Oh no, it's still on.
Wing back.
But certainly Thomas needs to play wing attack and needs to play it well. In this lineup, she's talking away with Robinson there. That's important. They've just got to keep this clock ticking over. I watched them coming out onto the court. They were really determined to keep their concentration going. They clearly know what Australia scored against Barbados. Rob Wright will definitely be pushing that with Connie Francis to keep the concentration going and not get distracted from their task.
And for Barbados, oh, not that
Throw
time.
in Jamaica.
Oh, good effort, but not good enough.
Throw in.
So they'll have to go back for the proper throw-in, if you like.
Vantage obstruction, goal shooter. Vantage contact, centre. Vantage obstruction, wing attack.
Oh, what a heft!
Whole time.
I think the ball had enough. It was going out the back door.
Let's see this defensive transition from Barbados into their attack. Look, they're all crowding in that defence third. They need to penetrate, get the ball up in the centre court, not with that sort of pass. They need attacking moves, front cuts, drives into the centre circle, and then work the ball up to their attack end.
So Jamaica quickly into their work at the top of this third quarter. What can Barbados cook up? No changes from coach Margaret Cutting.
Yeah, Rock Yor is actually struggling a little bit. She's not getting quite the same attacking penetration she had the other day. That was good, though, by Holder. She's being a little bit busier, being creative, trying to make some moves that are going to flummox the Jamaican defenders, and she did, and that's a goal scored to Walton.
Vantage
Well
obstruction,
done.
centre.
Contact, wing defence, penalty.
Rock, you're looking around to the back to get that ball going forward, which is, you know, it's actually contributing to many mistakes because the Jamaican attackers are of the mind they want to stop every ball going through. There it is there. Great teamwork together on the replay. Lovely interchange there between Hemming and Robinson. That's the future. That's what we want to see. And Nelson makes space for Robinson so she can put that move in so it's nice and close to the post.
Contact wing attack penalty, centre third.
Once again, Jamaica are focused on defending. All of them are defending. You can see the footprint there, or the handprint, or whichever print of Rob Wright. That discipline,
Contact goal
staying
defence
on task.
outside the goal circle.
Rob Wright has been part of many winning campaigns over the years as a New South Wales junior pathway coach in Australia.
Held ball, the call.
He knows how to coach tournaments. He's very experienced at it, and I can see his influence in this team.
But to be fair, I think, you know, Jamaica were coming good, weren't they? He's only been there since the end of, well, what was it? New Zealand's ANZ Premiership. So
He has, but to be fair again,
Centre,
also,
contact,
Jenny,
holding, penalty with the centre.
what
step
he
back
brings
with
to
the
them
centre.
is knowledge and understanding around what it takes to win a tournament. And sometimes
Contact, goal
Jamaica just
defence.
lose their way. So if he can influence their program, and especially the players, to be disciplined,
Not allowed to move goal
you know, they
defence,
can reach
retake
their
the
full
penalty.
potential. That's what all of us have been hoping for over the years, I must admit.
second goal of the third quarter for Barbados. Crowd doing what they can to get in behind the Gems.
And it might be that they just need a refresh in this attack end now. The defence end for Jamaica. Shamira Sterling's just looking a little bit tired. It wouldn't hurt her to come off.
He's a cheeky monkey.
And then also Katie Ann Dehaney can play goal defence herself and do a very good job. So I'm sure there'll be a change at some stage. Oh, they're doing well together, though. It's some nice work there. Wingspans, both of them across that circle together, just cover everything. Nice work by Thomas. I'm liking her short, sharp moves, her direction on court. And Hemmings is supporting her really well with some steadiness there in centre. Great work by Jamaica.
As I mentioned earlier, Margaret Cutting and Connie Francis, both coaches who played for their country. I think there are 9 here in Birmingham who played for their country, and 7 who played at Commonwealth Games. And Connie Francis, very definitely one of those.
Yeah, she actually, I think, played in the 1998 Commonwealth Games for Jamaica and was coach of the 210. Connie Francis, is just a little bit further on to Rob Wright's right, so left of screen for the viewers at home. She's sitting there, she's yelling directions, and she's also got her hand underneath her chin, which I understand the coaching stance. It's something that I do quite a bit as well. You're just sitting there, you're watching the game, you're wondering.
There she is, Connie Francis. She was an absolutely fabulous goal attack. And then she's coached Jamaica on a number of different occasions, actually. She was coach in Delhi.
She has.
In 2010.
We need to sing that song for her, I Will Survive, because she just keeps coming back, and she's obviously Jamaican through and through, has them clearly in her heart, and what a fantastic job she's done and over the years.
I'm sure she and Elaine Rice, the coach for Northern Ireland, who I think she's on her 4th stint this time, they would probably have a lot to chat about.
Yes, they need a book written about them, about netball coaches. I may have to write that one day.
Contact centre.
Oh,
nice
beautiful balance from Holder there. She's got some real special qualities, Holder. I'd like to see just that coming out a little bit more. Again, like all, well, perhaps not Rockyaw as such, but many of the Barbados players need to perhaps do a little bit more work on their preparation.
So 62-13, 6.5 minutes, just over 6.5 minutes remaining in the third. Again, another error.
Yeah, the scoring's dried up a little bit for Jamaica. They'll want to be sending that ball through a little bit more. Of course, we're applying really high standards to them, and they don't mind that. I think they're really relishing this challenge.
Goalkeeper penalty.
Nelson nearly ripped that ball in, but it was a penalty parcel shot. Stout's out of play. Robinson takes that shot. Thomas wants to get on with it. She places the ball in the centre circle for Rockyaw. So
Full 360 pivot.
oh, there she is again. Wow, what a transverse line. I hadn't even really entered my mind, but Wilson and Sterling together again on that line. Just wonderful work in front of Dehaney. What a defence end.
I guess, too, a lot of the Jamaicans are reaping the reward of experience. I mean, 8 of them were at the Gold Coast 4 years ago for those Commonwealth Games. Since then, they've had so much more exposure, I guess, to top-level elite netball.
Yeah, look, it's the week in, week out grind. It's also, you know, the high performance details that the Jamaican athletes are really experiencing in Australia. And I know that the Australian audiences love them and just love what they bring. Excitement. And look at that, Hemming, that was quick. Out of the centre so quickly, and she used the rules to her advantage. I think she must have heard me that they need to get on with their scoring.
Vantage contact on attack.
Jamaica are wanting to send the netball world
Centre
a message, and it is that they are
penalty.
really here and they want gold.
I wonder if somewhere in the stands or somewhere Scotland will be sitting, waiting and watching this performance from Jamaica with trepidation. They've got Scotland tomorrow.
I actually don't think they will. Knowing their coach and knowing their players, they're really brave and they will give Jamaica a really red-hot game. It won't be easy. I think Australia said the same thing, and they said the same thing about Barbados. Everyone is putting in. It's just that one team is actually superior in skill, fitness and tactical nous at this stage of their development, and that's just the way it is.
Contact centre penalty.
Hemming's been called for contact. Here's an opportunity. How far can they get, Barbados? Not far.
There goes Wilson again, and she bobbles the ball and still maintains possession. Wonderful athlete. Loving watching her today. It's a joy. Thomas is also in everything. Nelson finishing off. Superb play from Jamaica there.
Again, placing the ball for hold-up.
Once again, Jamaica have got just under 3 minutes. They've got to try and score, but they really want to make sure they keep their intensity up in this 3 minutes.
I just wonder what Connie Francis will do for that final quarter. Will she care about the score? Will she pop on Fowler as a shooting machine? Or
I know they were disappointed with that quarter against South Africa, which they let slip. So I believe they want a 4-quarter effort. Here comes Wharton off the court.
Shooter, Barbados.
Who's coming on?
Jamaica supporters in the crowd. They've got plenty of them. And there is Wharton going off.
And Fayagard showing her versatility. Isn't she wonderful? Up to the goal shooter position. She also plays goalkeeper for Barbados.
As I mentioned, So many of them in that part of the world do that sort of double.
Jamaica doing a great job squashing
Throw in
Barbados
Jamaica,
over on
centre third.
one side of the court, which
Full
makes
time,
them
centre
easier
third
to
throw in.
defend.
But the body language of Brianna Holder just says everything, doesn't she? The shoulders slumped.
Well, what's happening is that they're not putting the same
Guys,
work
it's
and
obstructions
effort
in
into
attack.
their attack play as they should be. They need to use the width of the court and make it more difficult for the Jamaican
Contact goalkeeper
defenders.
penalty. Goal shooter, contact, penalty.
Oh, there's that contact again from Nelson. She will have to watch that. It might be actually important for her captain to go up at three-quarter time and just check that
Contact goalkeeper penalty. Vantage
with
contact wing
umpire
defence.
Vandenberg.
Oh, that's not
Contact
bad
on
from Thea Gard. Woohoo! Accurate start.
I'd have to say, once again, compliments to both umpires. I'm really not noticing them, and that means it's a pretty good job because it hasn't been an easy game to umpire,
Wing defence,
actually,
contact holding.
because there have been some basic errors from time to time. They haven't missed much. Well, not from my eye, of course. My umpire consultant may differ. But in general, it's been pretty well umpired and controlled.
Well, delight there for those supporting Barbados, and that's their highest score for a quarter. They get to 6, 21-6 this third quarter at the moment.
Yes, their defence end will be stingy. I think they're talking to the bench there. Definitely Dehaney saying maybe come back in, Sterling and Shamira Sterling, and a little bit more
Contact
of
goal
a
defence penalty.
split circle. And there you have
Full
it.
time.
We don't want Shamira
Goal
Sterling
defence, step
being
right forward.
attracting the
more.
umpire's attention too much, and perhaps just settle down a bit.
And that's great body language too from Shamira Sterling. Bit of a character.
Well, you know, really,
Vantage contact
how
centre.
much interference, that is the question, and that's up to the umpire to make that decision.
So that is the end of the third quarter. 22-8 overall. It is 73-16. Jamaica leading Barbados. So there is Shimona Nelson. She's played each of these three quarters so far. Interesting to see just what decisions are made for this final 15 minutes of this Pool A game. Let's have a look. I mean, she makes it look so easy, doesn't she?
She does, but she's in the right position, so that's the key part. The very first primary part is to be in position and facing the play. Really liking what Hemming's doing there, getting the ball in quickly into her shooters. Nelson's so strong under the post, well finished off.
So there's Shady-Ann Hemming. She'll be pretty pleased with what's happened so far. But let's go down and have a look on the Barbados bench. Oh, not quite such delight, really, is it? I mean, it's another hard day at the office. Let's have a look at what they've put out so far.
Oh dear, just that lack of organisation out of their backline throw-ins, and there it is again. Too many passes up in the defence end, and then a big hoik of a big pass means that the Jamaican defenders just have so many opportunities. That was a nice piece of play from Barbados. Wharton finishing off that work.
So quite a few changes coming up for Barbados, but wow, the crowd, they are doing really well with this game and making the most of it. Well, I think plenty of changes might be coming up for both these teams. I suspect Janelle Fowler will make an entry into this game, and I suppose you would want her to, you know, get some time on the court. Not necessarily a lot, but some.
Yeah, look, that is the case. It's probably going to be good for Janelle to make sure that she's touching the ball each day. She may not be doing any other training, so I think she wants to contribute as captain of her team, and here she is. I think she may be coming out on court. Great job, though, by Nelson. 58 out of 60 at 97% Nelson. Pretty good.
A lot of changes too coming for Barbados. Sees Holder to wing attack. Stout to goal keep. Blackman back to goal attack. So Margaret Cutting throwing everything at this for the final 15 minutes. "15 minutes remaining in this Caribbean clash. Jamaica versus Barbados. 73-17 at the moment.
Wing attack, 3 pass in the goal third. Wing defense.
And we've had a few changes to Jamaica as well. I think it looks like Beckford on at wing attack. Thomas into centre. Sterling stayed at GD. Defence end's the same, and we've got Fowler on at shooter. So Robinson's kept her place. And I was just going to say, I'm really liking this addition of Beckford at wing attack. She's much more accomplished in that position than she used to be.
And this will be interesting to see just how fast or how quickly Jamaica can shoot. And look at that.
Outside arm, beautiful technique. For those of you that are new to netball, that is perfect technique of a deflection and then following up.
Centre contact penalty.
That was interesting because the centre was pretty much just standing there.
Defense.
Yes, not a lot of defence on there. Maybe they've decided they're not going to defend. They'll just try and score off their centre passes. Not a bad strategy, but it won't work if they're going to pass backwards like that. And Jamaica have got a mind to intercept and score again.
Well, that is 5 goals in a minute and a half.
And I have to say that was a superb effort from the goal attack. Robinson doing a great job for her team from Jamaica.
Well, straight away a change from Barbados.
Looks like Brown's off.
That must be one of the shortest spells on court, a minute and a half.
Yes, clearly it was just going to be too difficult. She must have had something, an injury, and there we go. Rockyaw is in GD. I mean, she is everywhere. What a stalwart she is for her team. And there she is, getting the ball on the transverse line and helping her team.
Throw in Barbados.
Once again, the brick wall that is Wilson, tapping Thomas. They're really working hard together.
Yeah, that was just too easy for Sterling.
You know who Wilson does remind me of a little bit? Somebody who's broken a few Kiwi hearts, but also spent some time over there. Peter Scholes. Just got that feeling about her. For those of you new to netball, Peter Scholes was an Australian diamond. Wonderful player. So Curtin into wing defence for Barbados. I think she's already had some court time. Quite a handy player, so it'll be good to see her. Oh, lovely move by Holder then. That was terrific. That's what we need to see more of. And a guard is there waiting.
Instruction goalkeeper, second jump. Back step. Yeah?
Good explanation there by the umpire around the second jump. Just telling and explaining to the Jamaicans what actually happened. And unfortunately, Holder did not balance enough to stay onside.
And you don't often see that now at this level of netball, do you? Generally, players have got the core strength, the positioning, the nous to know what to do. Of course, the ball can go anywhere. So if you can balance on the ball. Oh, brilliant.
Well done. Look, she is a talent already. You can see that. Making space for Fowler, for Beckford. The connection between the two of them is so special. Robinson's playing a really good role here for her team.
And that's court awareness, isn't it? She knew exactly where she had to be. You've got to take that centre pass in the mid-court.
I'm speechless. Kane, Wilson, another touch, and then Sterling running after it, picking up. This is championship level netball. I'm enjoying it. Please keep it going. But for Barbados, it is not what they would be wanting.
I mean, what does it do for Barbados? I mean, what can they take from a game like this?
Well, I think they can take great heart that, you know, it is possible for them to develop a program along the lines of Jamaica. They need to look at what happens in Jamaica, what sort of, you know, leagues they have. Maybe they have to join up with the domestic league in Jamaica and put their national team in there and have a more full-time program that can actually get them across the line.
Oh, that's stunning from Sterling. You can see her hold.
Oh,
and she
my
got
goodness.
the held ball. That was mighty.
That skill also from Beckford, the way she threw that high ball into, and there it is again. Oh, wow. Special delivery. And they could well be along the line to 100 goals. Great take and balance by Janelle Fowler. And, of course, Sterling's out of play. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like to be breaking the rules, which is fair enough.
Contact wing defence, advantage of side.
Holder's holding her own, and again, pardon the pun, but she's doing a good job there. She's not going to give up her space easily. Wilson's going to have to work for it.
Advantage breaking wing defence.
Beautiful quick offload and centre pass by Thomas. Loving this fast play by Jamaica. They can play fast, but they can also play slow and patient. I've seen that. So it's great that they've got different paces to their game.
Obstruction, goal defence. Step forward, goal defence.
I can hear Rob Wright saying to Shamira Sterling, it's your lean, you know, but she just, again, sometimes it might be just a slight...
Well, they've really put the afterburners on.
Slight
Jamaica.
inching. Here we go. Oh, one-hand control. I know another goaler that does that very well for a team that wears red dresses and sometimes white dresses. Her name is Eleanor Cardwell, sorry. She has that control as well. It's beautiful to watch.
This is better from Barbados.
Yeah, they seem a bit more organised in their attacking play, and it's no surprise with Blackman there at goal attack. She just helps organise their attacking. They need her at both ends, actually, at the moment. Her leadership is very important.
Advantage obstruction, goal attack.
Goal defence, obstruction in the centre third.
In this quarter, we're halfway through the quarter. It will be interesting to see if there's any changes coming from Jamaica. Again, to make sure their players are managed. Lovely jump by Dehaney then, putting lots of pressure on, but a great shot. So already Barbados are ahead of their score that they gained against Australia. So let's see what Jamaica can do. And boy...
Well, with shooting like that, that is phenomenal. I tell you what, Jamaica on course to, I think, surpass their highest score at a Commonwealth Games. That was 100 against India in India.
Well, it is possible, Jenny. It's 6 minutes to go. Easily 10 goals can be scored in that time. At the moment, the quarter score is 18-4. Just phenomenal scoring from Jamaica.
Vantage contact centre.
Look at that. The way that Adine Thomas uses her head, uses her body, attacks the ball.
And this is what they've been working for. Connie Francis, Rob Wright, and the whole support team have worked for this with the players
Vantage breaking goal
to
attack.
increase their concentration, to ensure that they're working for 15 minutes. Janelle Fowler's talking to them about it. She's experienced success with West Coast Fever this year in the Australian competition. She knows what it takes to win.
But they also know what it's like to lose, don't they? Because, you know, at Liverpool 3 years ago, they were looking good, but they had all sorts of things went wrong. And, you know, a Jamaican team in the past could be guilty of getting their head down, giving up. Not this side.
I actually have to say that the Jamaica that turns up to a Commonwealth Games is very different to the Jamaica that turns up to a World Cup. And I have my theories on that, and I'm not going to share them on air. But what it seems to be is that Jamaica that turns up to Comm Games really is very, very focused.
Contact goal defence.
They're disciplined. They must be influenced by their great track athletes. If you think about, you know, the professionalism that they exude, then it must rub off on the Jamaican netballers.
Vantage obstruction.
They're certainly brilliant athletes, the Jamaicans.
Obstruction centre.
In fact, Jodie Ann Ward was, I think, more of a track specialist, and I think it just happened that the netball court was alongside the track, and it caught her eye, and she got totally sidetracked into netball.
Look, it happens. I know many of my friends that I've played with over the years just love netball more. They have been athletes. I did athletics myself, but I fell in love with netball. It's a team sport aspect. I think it's a socialisation part.
Contact goal defence penalty.
Track athletes are enormously disciplined. They do form a team, of course, together as a big team, but it is a hard road working on your individual event. I admire them so much. It was an absolute thrill for me to work with Catherine Merrier, world champion.
I like that sign in the crowd. Netball rocks, it sure does.
I wonder if that's Rockyour's family. You know, she's doing well. She's been at it. I know she's got a hard opponent now. Robinson's been running all over the court, but Rockyour's still maintaining her dedication to the task. Still running out there with her. And Beckford pops that ball up. And Fowler's going to take this challenge of the hand right over her, and she just shoots through. This is what Fowler can do now. She is almost unstoppable.
Oh, she used to be just an under-the-post shooter, didn't she? She's so broadened her skills.
Yeah, she's more than that. She can move. She's got the rolls. She's got the moves to come out of the circle. She can do it all.
So 3.5 minutes left in this game. And really the only, well, I shouldn't say that. The most interesting aspect is whether or not they'll crack the ton, Jamaica.
I think they really will. Interesting there. Thea Guard, a little bit unsteady on her feet. I thought she might attract the umpire whistle there, but she didn't. And there's the 98. Barbados doing much better. They're up to 24. They want to try and get their highest score for the game in this quarter. They need to beat 8.
Vantage breaking goal attack.
And just by the actual weight of possession, they probably will break that. But who knows? Jamaica might say and have other plans.
But what a great chase from Thomas. I mean, many teams would have thought, oh, that's going out, we'll leave it.
Well, I've been super impressed with her. She's really showing that she wants to be on court in that top team that plays the big games.
And look at the urgency. Sterling,
yep.
They want this.
She's doing the throw-in, even though traditionally the goalkeeper does the throw-in on the baseline. It doesn't have to be. For those new to netball, it can be anyone, actually, except those that can't go in that area. There it is, the 99. This will actually send the crowd into a frenzy. Great pluck out of the air from, and another one from Janelle Fowler. Here it comes.
Obstruction, goal defence, penalty.
That was super.
This will be a moment.
Oh, Robinson gets it. Oh.
100 for Jamaica. Listen to the crowd. And this is amazing recognition of what a special Jamaican side this is. And they haven't stopped yet.
No, they haven't. It's 1:24 to get. There's still enough. They can probably get another 5 goals if they want to in this time, if they're quick enough. And this is important. In the context of the tournament, they need to practice this timing. It's very important. Working ball to circle edge, being disciplined, Beckford. I'm loving this from Jamaica. Rob Wright's clapping on the side. Connie Francis is pretty relaxed. She's enjoying watching what is a historic, absolute score and match for Jamaica against Barbados.
Vantage contact centre. Throw in Barbados.
Lovely touch there by Katie Ann Dehaney. Just limping a little bit there. She's been hard at work. She's done a magnificent job today. Oh, Shamira Sterling, what an athlete.
Well, Barbados is just being monstered, isn't it? Look at this flick, ball short, and
Robertson.
who's there to pick it up?
And she's played her role, Jenny. She's been such a great support here. She's been determined to do well. Beckford goes back. Sterling, they're playing around with the ball. They want to bring it in and have a 5-goal shot, but it didn't work.
It's all over. What a cricket score here at the NEC Arena. Connie Francis can hardly believe it. It is 103-24, Jamaica over Barbados. And I can tell you it's the 8th time 100 goals or more have been scored at a Com Games. The last time was at the Gold Coast when Australia put 108-23 on Fiji. What a score. What a game. Well, nice to see them all in together. It's probably, I guess, the moment that the Bajan players were waiting for, really. I mean, in many ways, they must have just wondered when it was all going to stop.
Look, a huge score. And look, I predicted the 104-18. They got 103-24.
Well, let's go back now and have a look at some of the highlights from this extraordinary game. As you can probably see from those highlights, they were dominated by Jamaica, and look at the numbers.
Oh, look, fantastic numbers for Jamaica. 109 shots at 94.5%. But what was terrific was their discipline on court. Their penalties were really low. They will be happy.
Well, very happy. Not every day you score more than 100 goals in a netball game.
Yeah, happy for the challenge. What did you learn about yourself out there?
So now, what has this done to the standings in Pool A? And there you are, Australia and Jamaica. Huge goal difference, up top, 6 goals. The battle is going to come between all the smaller nations, South Africa, Wales, Scotland, Barbados. big crowd here. They have enjoyed this afternoon's netball, and there's much more to come. But let's have a look now at Pool B. So, England, New Zealand atop. Of course, action from Pool B to come later this evening. And then Uganda, Malawi, Northern Ireland, Trinidad and Tobago. So, it really has been quite a remarkable session. Let's have a look at some of the best bits. We've been treated to some blistering netball so far this afternoon. And don't forget, come back, because in this evening's session, England versus Northern Ireland and New Zealand versus Malawi.